Welcome to Cheat Sheet Tale, where secrets slip, lies unravel, and the truth always has a twist. Real stories, raw confessions, and shocking betrayals. Drop a comment if you've ever caught a red flag too late. Now, let's get into today's tale. At my engagement party, my future sister-in-law stood up and sneered, "He's only marrying you out of pity." My fiancé went silent. Then he grabbed the mic and said something that left the entire room in shock. "I'm writing this because I need to get it off my chest. I 32. Female recently got engaged to my fiancé Caleb 35 male. We've been together for 3 years, and he proposed last month. We decided to have an engagement party in our hometown of Asheville, North Carolina. It was supposed to be a joyful occasion, but it turned into something else entirely. We rented a beautiful venue with a view of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Our families and close friends were there, enjoying the food, drinks, and music. Everything was going smoothly until Caleb's sister, Tessa, 28, female, stood up to make a toast. Tessa raised her glass and said, "I just want to say that I'm so happy for Caleb. He's always been the kind of guy who puts others before himself. That's why it's no surprise that he's marrying out of pity." The room fell silent. I felt like I had been punched in the stomach. Caleb looked stunned. Tessa continued, "I mean, let's be honest, we all know that Caleb could have done better, but he's always been the generous type." I was frozen. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Caleb stood up, walked over to the microphone, and said, "Tessa, that was completely out of line. I'm marrying her because I love her, not out of pity. If you can't be happy for us, then maybe you shouldn't be here." Tessa stormed out, and the rest of the evening was awkward. Some guests tried to lighten the mood, but the damage was done. I'm still in shock and don't know how to move forward the night after the party. I didn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. While Caleb sat next to me typing something into his phone with a cold, tight jaw, he turned the screen toward me. It was the family group chat. His mom, his dad, 2 of his cousins, Tessa and Harper. He had just typed, "Tessa, your behavior last night was embarrassing. You humiliated my fiancé and made a fool of yourself. You owe her an apology. If you can't do that, don't expect to be invited to the wedding." Seconds later, the messages started pouring in. His cousin Logan replied first, "Damn bro, that was savage, but fair." Then his mom, Caleb, "I don't want to take sides, but maybe you should talk to Tessa privately. She didn't mean it like that." Tessa jumped in, "Oh, I mean it, you're just too blind to see the truth. She's using you." His dad messaged enough. Everyone stopped texting. This is not the place, but it was the place. Everything was boiling over and there was no stopping it now. The next day, I went to work, trying to pretend like everything was fine. I work in Calabatingat, a small ad agency in downtown Asheville. Just when I thought I could hide from the drama, my coworker Chloe pulled me aside. "Hey, just so you know, your name's getting mentioned in some Facebook groups, like personal drama stuff. Someone screenshotted something from a party." My stomach sank. Tessa, she had posted a status on Facebook the night after the party saying, "Imagine being so desperate for love you trap someone into marriage." With a photo of Caleb and me mid-SP speech, it had 72 shares. She didn't mention our names directly, but everyone could connect the dots. Caleb came home early that night, his face tense. "She did it," he said. "Did what?" "She told my ex-girlfriend Brielle about the engagement party and the job offer. What does Brielle have to do with this?" He sat down, running a hand through his hair. "Apparently Tessa thinks Brielle and I belong together. She's been trying to push us back together behind the scenes." That hit me hard. Caleb and Brielle had dated for 4 years before May knew that, but he told me he had no feelings for her anymore. Still, the fact that Tessa was digging up the past, trying to destroy us, with it I felt sick that weekend. I got an email from a burner Gmail account. It said he told Brielle he still thinks about her. "You're just a rebound, be smart," no signature. No hint of who sent it. But it didn't matter. I knew exactly who it was. From Tessa was trying to break use up piece by piece, publicly, privately, socially. Emotionally, this wasn't just jealousy. This was sabotage. Caleb told me he had to clear his head one evening and left for a few hours. I trusted him, but something felt off when he came back. He looked anxious. I asked, "Where were you?" He hesitated, then said, "I met with Brielle." I wanted to put an end to it. My heart dropped. She didn't even know. Tessa was stirring all this up. She thought I had reached out to her first. Tessa used my old phone number to text her and pretended to be me. That explained the email, the sudden blow. "You pull of it. I told Brielle it's over and that I'm in love with you, end of story. but something was off. His eyes wouldn't meet mine the whole time he talked, just when I thought it couldn't get worse. Tessa showed up at my job in person middle of the workday. I was in the break room when I heard the receptionist whisper, there's a woman out here demanding to see you. She stood in the lobby, arms crossed, fake smile on her face. She wore sunglasses inside like she was in a movie. I came to talk, she said. I'm at work. It'll take 2 minutes. Promise. I stepped outside with her. Let me be honest, she said. Caleb doesn't love you. I know him better than you ever will. You don't get to come in and take over the family. You're nothing, you hear me? Nothing. And then she left. No shouting, no drama. Just those cold, sharp words. I didn't cry until I got home that night. I collapsed on the kitchen floor and finally let it all out. I felt ashamed, embarrassed, humiliated, and small. Didn't know how much more I could take. Caleb found me on the floor and pulled me into his arms. She's not going to ruin this, he said. I didn't say anything back. We started talking about eloping. I didn't want to plan a wedding where I had to look over my shoulder. The whole time, I didn't want to pretend everything was okay when clearly it wasn't. Caleb's mom was upset. You can't let Tessa win, she said. But this wasn't about Tessa anymore. This was about survival. Just when we started looking at places to elope to, I got a phone call from a number. I didn't recognize it was Brielle. I thought you should know something, she said. I didn't believe what Tessa said at first, but she reached out to me again. This time with photos. What kind of photos? She was quiet for a long time. Photos of Caleb with someone else from a month ago. I thought you deserve to know. I froze. Can you send them to me? Whispered. Already did, she said, and hung up. I opened the email from Brielle. There were 3 pictures attached. The first one showed Caleb at a bar in downtown Asheville he was sitting in. A booth across from a woman I didn't recognize, blonde, pretty younger, maybe mid-20s they were, laughing, and Caleb's hand was on hers. The second photo was outside the bar. It looked like they were saying goodbye, but Caleb was holding her, waist not a friendly hug. The third one, that one made my chest cave in. They were in a parking garage. She was leaning in, and he didn't pull away. I stared at the screen for probably 10 minutes straight. I didn't even cry this time. I just got cold when Caleb got home. I didn't scream. I didn't accuse. I didn't even ask, who is she? I just put my phone on the table. With the photos pulled up and said, explain. He sat down like the weight of the entire world hit his shoulders. She's a coworker. He said I didn't move. She got drunk. I was helping her get an Uber. It wasn't what it looks like. Classic, I asked. Was she drunk in the parking garage too? He paused. Look, she kissed me. I didn't kiss her back, and Tessa had someone taking pictures. I don't know how Tessa got those. I didn't even know someone was there. Liar, or maybe he wasn't, but either way, I didn't believe him. Not completely. Later that week, I did something I never thought I'd do. I messaged the blonde girl. It wasn't hard to find her. Her name was Jade. I found her tagged in a group photo on Caleb's company's LinkedIn page. I wrote, hey, I think you were with my fiancé at Battery Park Pub a few weeks ago, can we talk? She replied within an hour. We met for coffee the next morning. She didn't waste time. I didn't know he was engaged. She said he never told me he flirted. We hung out a few times. We kissed. It didn't go further, but I would have never done that if I knew. I showed her the photos. She was stunned. Someone was following us. Then she dropped the bombshell. I think your sister-in-law paid someone. She came into the office last month asking about Caleb. Pretended she was looking for a birthday gift idea. She saw my name on a card he'd left on his desk. I didn't think anything of it until now it hit me. Tessa didn't just hate me. She wasn't just jealous. She was methodically trying to destroy our relationship using actual tactics. She tracked his coworkers. She staged this setup. She had someone tailing him, and she knew how to twist the truth just enough to make it look real. She wanted to poison us from the inside out. When word got out about the photos, thanks to Tessa sharing them anonymously in yet another Facebook group, things exploded again in the family. Caleb's mom begged me not to leave him. Caleb's cousin Logan said, that's it, she's gone. Too far. But the kicker, Tessa told everyone I was the one cheating. She said I had sent those photos to make Caleb look bad. Then she said she's setting this all up to take his money when they split. We don't even have joint accounts. Caleb's dad finally called. A family meeting. Yes, an actual sit-down, face-to-face family intervention at their house. All of us including Tessa. We showed up on a rainy Sunday afternoon. Tessa was already there. She wore pearls, like it was a damn courtroom. Caleb's dad sat us all down and said, This ends today. No more lies, no more gossip, no more games. Tessa crossed her arms. You want truth, fine. She's been manipulating him since day one. She saw him as her ticket out of a boring life and you all fell for it. Caleb stood up. No, Tessa. The only person manipulating anyone is you. You set me up. You followed. Me? You stalked my coworker? Tessa looked shocked, like she didn't think he'd say it out loud. Caleb pulled out his phone and played a recording. It was Jade. She'd agreed to let us record a phone call where she said, Tessa came snooping around the office. It wasn't illegal. One-party consent. State still want to talk about truth. Caleb asked. Tessa's mouth twitched, but she didn't say a word. Then out of nowhere she screamed, You should have married Brielle, and stormed out. 2 days later, Brielle called me again. Hey, she said, I found something you should see. I didn't want to get involved, but this crossed a line. She sent me screenshots of texts Tessa had sent her over the past year, encouraging her to accidentally run into Caleb, offering to arrange it. One message even said, If I can break them up, you have to promise me you'll give it another shot. But the worst one, I can't stand her. I'll do whatever it takes. Tessa had been planning this for months, maybe longer. I wasn't going to let her win, but I also wasn't sure if I wanted to marry into this anymore. I started looking for my own apartment, quietly, just in case I told Caleb I needed space. Not because I didn't love him, but because I needed to figure out if he was truly with me, or just too scared to stand up to his family until things fell apart. He begged me not to go, said he would do whatever it took. I told him I'd think about it. I'm still thinking. I packed my bags 2 days later, while Caleb was at work. No dramatics, speech, no fight, just silence. I left a note on the kitchen table that said, I love you, but I don't trust this anymore. I need to figure out who I am without all the noise if you want. To find me, fix the mess you let happen and do it without hurting anyone else. I moved into a small rental on the other side of town. It wasn't much, tiny kitchen, creaky floors, but it was quiet. Peaceful for the first time in months. I slept through the night. Caleb didn't contact me for 3 days. Then I got an email, not a text, not a call, an email. I don't blame you for leaving. I let Tessa control too much. I didn't want to believe she could be so cruel. I kept thinking she'd stop if we just gave her time. I was wrong. I'm cutting ties. It's done. I love you, but I'm not asking you to come back. I'm asking you to watch what I do next. I didn't reply. Not yet. A week later, Tessa's entire world flipped. Caleb sent out a statement to every family member. Every friend, even people at church. I'd included the recordings, screenshots, everything. He exposed the entire web of lies. People turned quickly. Her reputation was shattered. The same people who once smiled politely at her at family dinners now whispered behind her back. Her job gone. Word got out she'd harassed someone at Caleb's office. He opened an investigation within 72 hours. She was let go. She tried to blame me. Of course, sent me a single text, you ruined my life. I replied, no, you did that yourself. Blocked her 2 weeks. Later, he got a knock on my apartment door. It was Caleb. He looked different, not sad, not angry, calm. Tired, but calm. I cut ties with her. I gave up the job offer. In Seattle, too, I realized none of it mattered. If I was losing myself in the process, I let him in. We talked for hours. He cried. I cried. We admitted things neither of us had said out loud. Then it told him something I hadn't said before. I should have left earlier. I kept waiting for things to fix themselves. But I knew deep down, if we were going to work, we had to burn it all down first. He nodded. So do we start over? No, I said. He looked confused. We don't start over. We build something new, but not from memory, from choice. We canceled the original wedding. Instead, we planned a new one, small, 17 guests. No social media, no extended family, and definitely no Tasawe. Didn't even send her an invite. Just a legal notice. Caleb had filed a restraining order after she showed up outside his work yelling like a maniac. Last time she got escorted off the property. That was the last time either of us saw her. Here's the part that Noon tells you. You don't always get closure by talking things out sometimes. The best revenge is just living better. But sometimes it's letting karma work. 2. Tessa tried to sue Caleb for defamation for the statement he sent. The court threw it out, but in the process more of her skeletons came out. Turns out, she'd been embezzling money from her last job. That HR investigation, it turned criminal. She's now facing charges. Her name is Mud. Her circle of enablers gone. Even Brielle blocked her. And as for me, I moved on slowly. I married Caleb on our terms. And I forgave myself for staying in something too long, for hoping people would change when all they did was get meaner if you're ever in a situation where someone is trying to ruin your life quietly. Don't be afraid to make louder choices, expose them, walk away. Come back when you're stronger or not at all. Sometimes the villain isn't just the loud one. Sometimes it's the one smiling. Your table waiting for you to trip. Tessa tried to burn me down, but I walked through the fire and built something better on the ashes.